Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today I want to talk about something I talk about quite often, and that is distractions. And how a lot of the bigger gun channels and a lot of the gun organizations, they love to throw distractions out there. And you know why they like to put distractions out there? Because they don't want you to focus on things that might actually solve problems, because they make money off the problems. They would rather you focus on things where they can go, boo, you better buy this before you can't anymore. That's mainly what they want to cover. And it'd be one thing if that was all that happened when they did that. If it was just, well, some stupid people are going to fall for that and buy it. You know, go out and buy 10 of something that they don't even really want. But it doesn't just do that. It also distracts people from real issues. And it makes people angry for no reason, because that's how they manipulate people, through anger, through fear. And one such topic that has come up again, it appears recently, is the UN Arms Treaty. And Biden signing back onto the UN Arms Treaty that Trump took us off of. You know, it was a big issue back under Obama. I mean, this is something, if you've been in the gun community for any number of years, it's been coming up for at least a decade now. Comes up, goes away, comes up, goes away. And it's always the same ridiculous fear-mongering. It's the, oh my God, they're signing the UN Peace Treaty or the UN Arms Treaty. That means the UN's going to control the gun laws in the US and they're going to make it where we can't buy any. You better run out and buy 10 of everything. No, that's not what the UN Arms Treaty even is. Let's talk about what it is today and how obvious it is that these channels and gun organizations are just fear-mongering. For one, I don't care if we join the UN Gun Treaty or not. Because like most UN things, it's pretty much useless, unenforceable. So I don't really worry too much about it. But here's the one thing it definitely isn't. It isn't anything to do with our gun laws or how we manufacture, sell, produce, regulate firearms inside our country at all. In fact, it doesn't do that to any independent nation. It doesn't tell any independent nation that they can't manufacture, produce, sell, regulate firearms however they want to. What it does say is it says that these countries are joining together in a UN resolution, basically a gentleman's agreement, that they're not going to sell firearms to countries that are currently war-torn, engaged in a civil war, genocides happening there. That's all it is. It's basically a bunch of countries coming together and saying, hey, these places that are war zones right now, or where one group is killing all of another group, well, we're not going to help them by selling them large amounts of arms. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with laws inside our country. Period. It's a distraction. It's a way gun manufacturers can go, boo, you better buy a bunch now. It's a way gun channels can say, ooh, you better go use this discount code and buy all this stuff now before you can't anymore. It's the same old shit. And it's the gun and the gun groups, especially the national groups, going, boo, you better send us some money so we can fight this, even though there's nothing to fight, because it's nothing that affects us. And plus, you got to remember, even if it was to ever be used against us in any way, let's say the United States was engaged in a civil war, and these other countries went, yep, we want to vote that the United States can't receive gun shipments from anyone. Well, we're a veto member. We can go, no, we still get to buy stuff. We wouldn't be affected at all. In fact, most of the people who sign on it, us, Russia, China, etc., it doesn't apply to. We make sure it doesn't apply to us. And like I say, it doesn't say anything about regulating our laws inside of our country. The UN has no power to do that. We have specific laws in place that prevent that from happening. However, we can enter into agreements with other UN nations to say, hey, let's all get together and decide it's a good idea not to give this dictator who's killing everybody in his country that isn't of his religion or didn't vote for him, we're not going to sell him crate after crate after crate of military-grade weapons. That's all the agreement says. I encourage people, go read it. Stop being scared, because this comes up all the time. It's come up several times, and every time we go, this is not what it's about. And the people who told the lies, they slink back under their rock for a little while, wait for, people to forget about it again, and then they do it again. And like I said, don't really give two shits about the UN Arms Treaty Agreement because it has nothing to do with anything. It is just a distraction. Quit being so easily distracted. The gun community is like a bunch of fucking minor birds. Every time they see something shiny, they got to go get it. They have the attention span of an 8-year-old ADHD kid hopped up on sugar cereal watching Saturday morning cartoons. Even though I know that Saturday morning cartoons is not a thing anymore, and I'm kind of just showing my age there. But that's all it is. It's a distraction. Quit being distracted. There's lots of things going on right now we need to pay attention to. The court cases that involve the right to carry. The movement on the left right now to try to get gun crimes declared a health crisis. Things like that we need to really pay attention to. But big gun organizations and gun channels, they don't pay attention to those things because they're like, how do we tie a product to this? How do you get a discount code to tell people from telling people to be involved in politics and pay attention to what's going on? What am I going to sell? And when they can't figure out what they're going to sell you or how they're going to get a kickback off a discount code, they decide they got to come up with something else to talk about. And that's where these things like this UN Arms Treaty thing come in. It's meaningless. It's not affecting us. And in fact, if you actually read it, it seems like a pretty good idea to me to say, hey, we're not going to sell genocidal dictators arms. That sounds like a good idea to me. I wouldn't. It's like if my neighbor came over, if I heard my neighbor fighting with his brother, and he's like, I'm going to kill you. And he comes over and goes, hey, can I borrow your axe for a minute? I'd be like, no, not right now. I'd rather you didn't, if it's all the same with you. Because I just don't think we should probably arm people that are doing heinous things. Not intentionally, anyway. So the UN treaty is nothing to do with us. And the people that keep telling you this bullshit again and again, they know that. They've been told that the other 7 or 8 times they brought this up. But every now and then, they got to roll it out because they got to pump up sales. And like I said, if it was just increasing sales, that'd be one thing. But it distracts gun owners from real issues. It makes gun owners angry over something there's no reason to be angry about. And when people get angry, they get irrational. And that's what they want. They want you to be irrational. They want you to go, I'm so mad that I'm going to go buy 10 crates of AR ammo. Even though I can't really afford it, but I'm going to do it just to spite that Biden and that UN. That's what they want. That's the reaction they go for. And they also don't want you paying attention to the fact. They want you to be going, ooh, that fucking UN, instead of going, ooh, why aren't these national organizations doing anything that really matters? Why do we even have these national organizations? Why do I use this guy's discount code when all he ever does is try to shove shitty products down my throat and never really does anything or gives anything back to the community? They don't want you doing that. They want you, ooh, that UN, or ooh, that this, or ooh, that. Because when we stop doing that and we start paying attention to real issues, we go, hey, this has been a real issue for a while now. This really could use some attention. Why isn't this group doing it? Why didn't this gun channel tell me about it? And when you stop paying attention to, and when you stop being afraid all the time and angry all the time, you start going, why does that gun channel just always give me discount codes and I never see them like, here's our major donation to a veterans charity, or here's our, here's all the guns we gave away to people in need, or blah, 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 or any of that stuff. You don't see them do any of that. That's why they have to keep you angry and they have to keep you on the edge of your seat and they got to keep you riled up because you might start expecting them to do stuff and they don't want to do stuff except count their money. But that's what it is. It's a distraction. And like I said, it's not just for profit. If it was just for profit, that'd be one thing. But it's also to keep you angry and keep you from paying attention to what's going on. Pay attention to what they're doing. Because if you did start paying attention, like I said, you might start going, why does that gun channel that just told me I need to buy them a new camera so they can make videos for me, why are they driving a brand new $100,000 sports car? If they couldn't afford camera? People might start asking things like that. They might start saying, well, I hear him give lip service to veterans all the time, but when was the last time I saw him do a charitable thing for a veteran's cause? Or for someone else in need? That's what happens when people aren't scared and angry all the time, and they don't want that. It's all about distractions. This video here isn't even about the UN thing, because like I said, couldn't care less about that. It's just the perfect example of how these channels and these organizations, they don't want to solve the problem, because if you solve the problem, what do we pay them for anymore? I mean, what do you pay the NRA for if there's no anti-gun laws? If it's been struck down by the Supreme Court and nothing to fight anymore, then how is LaPierre going to buy his new suits? How is he going to keep the rental payments up on that yacht? How is he going to keep his vacation homes? So they want you scared all the time. They want you angry all the time. They want you irrational all the time. Because rational people pay attention to things that matter, and rational people ask questions. And then they want the people that they're looking at to start producing, to start actually being good for something. And believe me, that's the last thing that most gun channels or most gun organizations want to have you do. They don't want you to pay attention to what they're doing and what they're not doing. All right, everybody, time to move on to my favorite part of the show, and I think I don't have to tell you what it is, but I'm going to anyway. It's gun talk. And today, Beretta announced the new M9A4. Some people have known about this for a little while, but today was the official announcement. And for those of you that are interested, it's basically the M9A3, which has been a very popular gun, but it's got a few little changes to it. One of the most notable changes is it's got front serrations. That's pretty cool. Cool front serrations. Another big change is it's cut for an RMR. That's actually a pretty big change. Also has night sights, some other things about it that are pretty cool. But it's basically just an M9A3 that has had some features added to it to make it very much like the Langdon Tactical, the Elites, the Beretta Elite LTTs. They have integrated some of the features from that gun, most notably the front serrations and being cut for an RMR. I do believe it's cut differently for an RMR. It's not cut the same. They've done a different setup here because I don't remember there being two little cutouts for my Langdon Tactical. But that's what it is. And I think it's awesome. I'm not comparing it to the Langdon Tactical to say Beretta just ripped off. No, they worked in conjunction for everything that's been going on. And I'm loving seeing this come out in a production model. Now, I would rather see it just be a regular Beretta 92X with these features instead of the baby shit brown with the threaded barrel and stuff that I don't really need, but still an awesome gun. And I still like the Langdon Tactical better because it's overall more polished, has the traditional Beretta grip on it, but the grips on these new ones, on the 92Xs, which is the Vertec grip, still a very nice grip, very much more 1911-like, but you can convert it to a regular grip with a special grip. But just looks like it's going to be a very nice gun. Now, people are asking me, are you going to buy one? Well, not right away, because if you remember, I'm on my 6-month hiatus from buying guns so that I can save money to trade my car in. So I won't be buying one anytime soon. Plus, I already have the Langdon slide with the red dot on it, and I have that on my 92X frame, so I already basically have this gun only in a less gross color. Not saying I don't like the baby shit color guns. I have a couple of them, but I've got one that's not baby shit colored. I will eventually probably buy one of these just simply because it is another Beretta model, but it's nothing I gotta rush out and get. But I wanted to show it to people out there who are interested in these. Now, unfortunately, I would love to be able to say it has some of the LTT features, but at a cheaper price because it's mass produced. But these things are like $1,000. So they're not the cheapest gun in the world. In fact, if I was going to spend $1,000 on a Beretta, I'd probably go find me an Elite LTT instead. That's just me. Because I don't really need the cutout for the slide. I mean, for the red dot, because I'm not probably going to put one on a carry gun. But it's there now. If you want it, just want to let everyone know, because I didn't want to not mention the new Beretta. People be like, what's wrong with you? You didn't mention the new Beretta. But That's it, I guess. New Beretta M9A4. It's like the M9A3, only with some little nicer touches. And there's other things too. There's supposedly upgraded trigger and blah, 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 you know, all that stuff. But mainly, front serrations and cut for an RMR. What more could you ask for from a production level Beretta? All right, everybody, I want to move on and do our pet rescue of the day. Before I do, I want to give everyone a little update on my health. If you know, I was not doing too well and babbling very badly last night. I ate solid food for the first time today, and I kept it in me for a little while. So that's progress. It very much seems the food poisoning is fading. I've had food poisoning before, usually from gas station chicken. Long story, not going to tell you, but most of the times I've had food poisoning, that's what it's from. But, and one of the other times I had food poisoning was also from pizza. But it seems to be fading. I've had it before where it lasted like a week to 10 days, and I've had it before where it lasted 24 hours to 72 hours. This seems it's going to be more of a 72-hour one. It's fading quite a bit now. So I'm not quite as delirious as I was. I don't feel like I'm liquefying from the inside out as much as I was. You know, I not having any close calls. Of course, I haven't coughed or sneezed in the last several hours, so fingers crossed. I don't want to jinx myself during the video. But with that being said, I want to move on, like I said, and do the pet rescue of the day. And today we have someone named Dosum B, and I cannot believe that's their real name, Dosum B. That sounds like something you take to settle your stomach. Isn't that like I could take some Dosum B because, you know, I got the shits? That's what that sounds like to me. But they sent a picture in of Penny Lane, their adopted pet. Penny was adopted from an animal shelter where she had been for a year and a half before being adopted. How could anyone leave that face at an adoption shelter? I mean, how could you walk past that and not adopt her? She's adorable. And she's a pity mix, looks like, so she's going to be sweet as hell. I don't know if she does that dragging herself across the carpet every morning when she gets up, like, oh my God, I can't believe you're making me get up, like Turnip does. And if you want to see that, you can check it out on my Instagram. But awesome little puppy here, just beautiful. Name's Penny Lane. I'm assuming they are elderly, if they know the phrase Penny Lane. Because how many young people would name their dog Penny Lane? Not a lot of young people out there going, I'm going to use Beatles lyrics. So probably an old person, which might explain the name Dosum. Maybe that's an old person name that I just don't know. I don't know. But wanted to show them today. I wanted to show Penny Lane here and congratulate her on being adopted, finding her forever home, and say thank you to Dosum B for being a person who gave someone like Penny a chance. All right, everybody, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back again tomorrow. Until then, I just want to sign off as usual by saying, as far as the state of the world today is concerned, you know, it is what it is. It could be a lot worse, trust me, but it could still be better. And if we as a community start ignoring the fear-mongers, the profiteers, the fake activists, the people who just want to shove money in their pockets at our expense, if we start ignoring those people and fighting smart and hard for our rights in this country and keeping level heads about us, what things will be for people who value the Second Amendment and freedom in general in the very near future is better.